I would love to introduce you to America's anchorman, E.T. Williams, aka the Doctor of Common Sense. This doctor was voted most likely to offend you, so if you are the type that is easily offended, please turn the channel right now. But if you love in-your-face, hard-hitting news, stay tuned for my Dr. E.T. Williams. I suggest you make a daily appointment to see this doctor. E.T. Williams, please pencil me in for a daily appointment. Kisses. I love you, Doctor of Common Sense.
Hello and welcome to Common Sense TV. I'm your host, Doctor of Common Sense, E.T. Williams. Please visit the website at www.whateverhappenedtocommonsense.com. Please stop by there and get yourself a ringtone. We will be updating here pretty soon. There is a report that says a Russian aircraft has bombed a military outpost in Syria used by American and British special forces. They says that the reason Vladimir Putin and Russia bombed this particular location is because he wanted to force America's hand in order for them to start sharing information about the real enemies over there. It was supposedly a remote garrison located near the Jordanian border. It was a secret base operation for two military forces, so reports the Wall Street Journal. This is supposedly happened back on June 16th. They said that a separate Russian strike on a site associated with the CIA was an attempt by the Moscow to pressure Barack Obama, this administration, into cooperating during the campaign in Syria. Now, you remember that most people like John Kerry and Barack Obama, and even John McCain had been stating that Assad had to go and he was the main problem, even though I believe 60% of the land had been controlled by parts of the factions of Al-Qaeda and ISIS over there. So Vladimir Putin is saying in so many words, I don't trust you, Obama administration. I don't trust you, Britain government, because you guys know who the enemy is. As a matter of fact, these particular folks that Assad is fighting against is on the terror watch list according to Barack Obama and the Brits, and they're still, I guess, aiding these people, worrying about Assad. What does the Syrian people want? See, a lot of times America and Britain and some of these other elitists seem to think that they can tell another country what the citizens want. The citizens may want Assad in charge, because I damn sure know they don't want ISIS or Nusra in charge over there. But the Wall Street Journal also reported that after the first Russian strike, officers with the U.S. military Central Command Air Operations Center in Qatar called their counterparts in Russia air campaign headquarters, and I believe they told the Russians that the garrison was part of the U.S. campaign against the Islamic State and shouldn't be attacked. They say roughly 90 minutes after the U.S. warning was delivered to the Russians, they saw the Russians launch a second wave of strikes against the garrison. A U.S. military surveillance aircraft overhead tried to stop the Russians. They bombed it anyway without communicating. What Vladimir Putin has stated, and what many has stated, I've even told you this: Barack Obama and the West and this so-called coalition are not attempting to kill ISIS. If we had a commander-in-chief in charge that really wanted to destroy ISIS, like Vladimir Putin wants to destroy ISIS, ISIS would be done away with. The only reason ISIS is still existing is because of the backing of America, the Brits, and others. The UN. There isn't a real attempt to try to kill off ISIS, to choke the life out of these sons of bitches. there is nothing but a bunch of placating for some political game that I can't even comprehend. I'm sure one day we'll find out the reason that they're so adamant about supporting terrorists. Not to say that Assad is a nice guy, but it's his damn country. People got him in charge. What makes us think we can go over there and give it over to ISIS or one of these terrorist organizations backed by Al Qaeda? U.S. military and intelligence officials rejected the initial explanation from the Russians that they thought the garrison was an ISIS facility. Of course, I think Vladimir Putin said, I'll play politics along with you if you want to play politics. He said, but the bottom line is, you're not going to leave these particular garrisons so that ISIS can come over and get more weapons. Because this has happened too many times. We have supported the so-called rebels who were supposed to be fighting against ISIS. Next thing we know, ISIS has our tanks. ISIS has our ammunition. And we're supposed to just let them keep on getting the ammunition. Vladimir Putin and Russia has says it's not going to happen anymore. Either you work with us on your intelligence and tell us who the enemy is and who you're trying to kill, and we will assess if you're really trying to kill the enemy, and then we can attack and destroy the enemy. It's sad when Vladimir Putin of Russia has more integrity than Barack Hussein Obama and the Brits and others. I would trust Vladimir Putin a whole lot faster than I would trust some of these other world leaders, including the current president in the White House. I trust Vladimir Putin's word on ISIS and what's going on in Syria more than I trust the president of the United States of America. Isn't that sad? When you can trust KGB, former KGB, or people say once KGB, always KGB, Vladimir Putin. At least Vladimir Putin is trying to do what's in the best interest of his country. The current president of the White House, which is not my president, but the current president, it has no intentions on doing what's best for America. He showed that time and time again that he is our worst enemy. And for the media and for others to keep covering up for Barack Hussein Obama, it's quite insulting. It is obvious what has happened over there. You can't blame Vladimir Putin for going over and bombing this Nusra front, despite objections from the Pentagon and the CIA. Russia agreed to stop the airstrikes on U.S.-backed rebels and restrain the Syrian air campaign if we can start sharing some data, if I can feel like you really are attempting to destroy ISIS and those enemies out there. It says nearly a day before the strike of the 20 to 24 British special forces pulled out of the base. The U.S. tracked a Russian plane headed towards the base. The warplane dropped a cluster bomb, according to the U.S. and rebel officials. After the first strike, U.S. Central Command Air Operations Center in Qatar called a Russian air campaign headquarters in Syria to tell them the base shouldn't be attacked. They said, we're not hearing any of that. What you guys have done has not been in line with destroying the enemy. So just in case you don't know how to destroy the enemy, let me give you a small detail on how to destroy the enemy. They said at least 4 rebels were killed. Tragic. Next time, run a little faster. Get your ass out of the facility. You knew they was coming. They was tracking the damn plane. Get your ass out the facility, but just pretend like you're trying to destroy ISIS. You mean to tell me the most powerful military in the history of the world can't destroy a bunch of cavemen, these goat-humping savages can't be destroyed by the most powerful military, the richest nation to ever exist, are battling with this little third world group that we gave weapons to, and you're worrying about casualties. Sometimes you must understand war is hell. And in order to stop these savages, somebody's going to have to die. And it's best if those sons of bitches die as opposed to American people, American citizens. Because either we're going to fight the war over there or we're going to fight the war over here. And that's why we keep seeing incidents of cases happening over here, because we're not fighting the war correctly. Russia, I believe they have it right. So we're going to bomb this until we are in agreement that you are really trying to destroy the enemy of the world, the ISIS and the Al Qaeda members who need to die.